Oh, what is going on, Lakers Nation? Welcome to Lakers Talk Daily. Lakers got a victory against a New Orleans Pelicans team. Man, that Pelicans team, it is a very, very weird roster. However, they got some athletic, young talent on that team because one of those guys, the Lakers were trying to acquire before the trade deadline, and Herb Jones. But Lakers got away with the victory, 110 to 101. They closed out the game in a really, really good fashion. But there are still some concerns when it comes to this Lakers team. Hence, they got a game against the Denver Nuggets in Denver tomorrow night. That is going to be a big one. And I know everyone likes to call it the eye tester to see where the Lakers are at. But before we get into that, I got to talk about my friends at Pachanga Resort Casino. And also, Lakers are going to keep on adding more Dodgers front office staffs, more Dodgers executives to their front office. We're going to talk about that. But let me get into Pachanga Resort Casino, the beautiful, beautiful Pachanga Resort Casino. And you can play your perfect combination at Pachanga Resort Casino, the official Native American resort and casino, the Los Angeles Lakers. Skip the traffic. Head on over to Pachanga Resort Casino just off the I-15 in Temecula. Visit pachanga.com or call 888-PACHANGA for reservations and for more information. So, to start this show off real briefly, the Lakers named Michael Spetner, I hope I'm not butchering that name, their new chief strategy and growth officer. This is not a move as far as the product on the basketball court. This is all the move as far as the sales. So to give you a little insight, just a quick, brief insight. We're not going to elaborate too much on this. Spetner spent the last decade with the Los Angeles Dodgers, and most recently he served as a vice president of business strategy and analytics, and he played a pivotal role in driving the Dodgers' commercial opportunities, implementing new business models for the right shoulders, and modernizing the fan ecosystem. So, like, again, this is not big as far as the product on the basketball court, as far as analyticals when it comes to that types of stuff. However, we're just seeing more and more staffs from the Dodgers front office implemented into this Lakers front office. And we just have to keep on reminding ourselves there is going to be more smart people in that Lakers front office to make smart business moves going forward. That family business model, the Genie Bus, all that different types of drama that was going on through these recent seasons, it is going to be different for the foreseeable future. So I just want to just touch on that real quick and just get you guys to understand that there's going to be real proper planning, strategic moves going forward when it comes to the Los Angeles Lakers. So once again, just to touch on that, to kind of give you guys a little insight on that. Now, in regards to the game last night, turnovers after turnovers for both teams. It was really, really sloppy in that first half for the Lakers and for the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, there was a little bit of worries for me going into this game, only because what? The Pelicans are younger, they're athletic, and what happens when the Lakers run into a team that is younger and athletic? And I understand the Pelicans are having a disaster season. Remember, they fired the head coach, Willie Green, early on in the season, and James Borrego has stepped in that head coaching role. Zion Williamson has been in and out of the lineup. And honestly, Zion Williamson, he can be a tremendous talent if he was to stay healthy. But he also has to elevate his game if he wants to be someone to be a force to be reckoned with for the NBA, because that brother, Zion Williamson, he is all left hand. Literally, every single move he did was off his dominant hand, left hand. And he was still able to get his. He got 24 points, 10 of 18 shooting. All of his points were damn near basically in the paint, 4 or 5 from the free throw line. I thought the Lakers did a good job on Zion Williamson throughout spurts in the game. They still allowed him to get to his dominant hand. Once the Lakers were able to kind of pick the ball loose and get out and run, we started to see a difference maker in that game. But Pelicans, they were fighting, and they were staying within the Lakers. Lakers, I thought, would be able to pull away with the big lead, but that was not the case. Lakers had their own self-inflicting wounds, turning the ball over a lot and the Pelicans were able to get out in transition. The Lakers had 21 turnovers last night. And that's a big number because you're able to get away with that against a Pelicans team. You're not going to be able to get away with that when against a team tomorrow against the Denver Nuggets. You're not going to be able to get away with that against the Oklahoma City Thunder, the San Antonio Spurs. Hell, even the Minnesota Timberwolves. 21 turnovers is unacceptable. I understand that Lakers, as far as the spacing and stuff, we're starting to see a difference in JJ Redick, and he's starting to stagger Luka's minutes with Austin Reeves and subbing LeBron James out. So we're starting to see more of that as far as Luka and Austin Reeves on the court together while LeBron James is out. And then throughout the last couple of minutes of the first quarter, end of quarters, we start to see LeBron James out there without Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. So JJ Redick is definitely paying attention to the numbers because we were going on all last week as far as, hey, the numbers are showing that when all three of them are on the basketball court together, the offense struggles and their defense does not get any better. It gets even worse, honestly. Now, we start to see what it looked like when Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves are on the court together. Even early on the season, we saw a little bit last night. Austin Reeves had a really, really bad shooting night. I felt like he forced a lot of shots. He settled a lot instead of trying to get to the basket. Don't know if that's due to having a guy like Herb Jones on you and a young athletic wing defender. I think that's take a little bit of a toll. And that's another thing we have to be concerned about is that when there's a defender of that caliber matched up on Austin Reeves, he tends to struggle. And we don't need to get to the point where come playoff time, we get the playoff version of Austin Reeves in the Minnesota Timberwolves series. The Lakers can't afford to have that. So that's another thing we have to look out for. And the bickering and stuff like that, that's not going to get any better. Technical fouls left and right. At some point, when it comes to playoff time, you're not going to get the whistle. Everything's going to be tight. The referees are going to allow players to play. That's another thing the Lakers are going to try to have to work on. And then you look at the bench, and my goodness, once again, I don't know where Rui Hachimura has been, but 2 points in 19 minutes, 0-4, 4 shots. Can't get that can't help this Lakers team out. Luke Kennard has looked a lot better moving without the ball, given the proper spacing, able to take guys off the dribble. Good. But once again, come deep into the playoffs. The Lakers, JJ Redick is now limiting once again his rotation. The minutes are starting to shrink when it comes to those guys in Laravia, Rui Hachimura. Jackson Hayes and Luke Kennard are the main 2 guys who you can trust coming off the bench. And then honestly, if it wasn't for this one guy, because Austin Reeves made comments as far as DeAndre Ayton is their X factor, and if he gets it going, then this Lakers team it can be something different. No. The X factor is Marcus Smart, because if they did not have him, especially in that fourth quarter, getting the passing lane, getting out and run, throwing a lob to LeBron James, take the lead, and then him knocking down that big corner 3 off a kick out from LeBron James, knockdown. If they don't have Marcus Smart and his energy and effort in that game against the New Orleans Pelicans last night, we will be having a different conversation heading into Lakers Talk Daily today. But once again, 21 turnovers is not going to get the job done. I'm telling you guys right now, you cannot allow that against a better team in the Denver Nuggets, a better team against San Antonio Spurs, and a better team in the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I don't understand what their plan is going to be. I understand JJ Redick is starting to stagger it, and it looks good. Luka and Austin Reeves able to play off of each other. That's starting to look really, really good. He's starting to get an understanding and a feel, because when the 3 of them on the basketball court together, the offense gets really, really stagnant. And I actually did a deeper dive into why does offense get like that in certain moments. And that is because when they do get into a half-court set, they're not running the proper play. Guys don't make the proper cut, or they miss a screen. The play is blown up, and then that's when they have to settle into an ISO ball one-on-one scenario. Now, as far as the ball movement and the player movement, Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic, it does look good because you don't have a guy like LeBron James, because they're able to help off LeBron James. I know his numbers have been better as a three-point shooter, but they're allowed to do those things. Teams are allowed to scout and report and help off those guys. Now, when you add in, and you guys are probably wondering, why isn't Vanderbilt? Why his minutes been decreased? Jared Vanderbilt started to get into the DMP moment. It's because he can help this team out offensively. This Lakers bench is going to be concerns going into the postseason. Now, as far as what they can get, as far as how they can get the most out of these guys, you're going to have to solely rely on most likely Jackson Hayes and Luke Kennard. And that's going to be another thing we're going to have to be keeping our eye on as far as how can J.J. Redick be able to stagger LeBron James and Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves are off the basketball court? And it looks good because he's able to keep the ball in his hands. He's able to facilitate. Guys are able to move without the basketball. That's where you start to see a difference maker. So if there's one thing we always criticize J.J. Redick with is rotations. Why is he not drawing up plays? Why are we always settling for a one-on-one situation and ISO ball? One thing we do have to give him praise for is he is seeing the numbers and he's starting to switch it up, and it's starting to look good. Again, I understand it's hard to give this team a real some praise only because seeing who they've been playing against, the New Orleans Pelicans, the Sacramento Kings, the Golden State Warriors without Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler. So tomorrow, when they face the Denver Nuggets, and I remember me listening to the Mason Ireland show and John Ireland saying that, and I love John Ireland. And this is not a shot. This is not a shot. But him saying that he would love to see Denver in the first round due to the games that Denver has lost and they have not looked good, I have to sit here and give you guys a real truth and honesty is that they have been without Aaron Gordon, one of their main guys, and without Peyton Watson. I understand they got Nikola Jokic. I understand they got Jamal Murray. But remember, this is a Denver Nuggets team who have been giving the Lakers nothing but problems every single time they match up in the playoffs. So for him saying that he wants the Denver Nuggets, that's not a matchup I think that'll be in your favor. It's because, number one, they got Nikola Jokic. And DeAndre Ayton is a guy who's inconsistent. So you want to try to get a matchup like that, that is going to be a nightmare for the Lakers. And what does Jamal Murray, for some reason, when he's matched up with the Lakers, what does he do? He is a Lakers killer. He is. We have to be honest. So as far as who the Lakers should want and match up with this, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Going in, there's not a team that I'm overly confident that the Lakers could really give a 7-game series. Maybe the Houston Rockets, only because they have a lot of flaws when it comes to their offense. They have no real true point guard. And Amen Thompson is not really an offensive threat unless he's moving without the basketball. Their real go-to scorer is Kevin Durant. They got Alperen Sengun. So that is probably a favorable matchup for the Lakers as far as a real 7-game series. But when it comes to any other teams, Lakers are going to get mismatched in a lot of those opponents. Timberwolves, Spurs, Thunder. Like, it's going to be hard to really see if the Lakers can match up with those types of teams. And I'm excited that the Lakers are playing against the Denver Nuggets tomorrow because we do get a real test. Even when they don't have Aaron Gordon, even when they don't have Peyton Watson, we'll see what type of Lakers team they're going to get. And let alone it's going to be a second night of a back-to-back. And guess what? They got the Indiana Pacers. But at this point in the season, if you're the Los Angeles Lakers, every single game you're playing, this needs to be a moment where you're like, this is only going to get us the highest seed possible. At this point, you have to avoid the play-in, especially when you have LeBron James at the age of 41. You do not want to go in and be in a play-in. And that scenario, too, a one-game scenario, all it takes is one game. You do not want to – if you're the Lakers, you do not want to be in that situation. And then you want to try to get the most rest you can leading up to the first round of the NBA playoffs. But just to read off some of your guys' stuff in the YouTube chat, Kyle Cruz says, DeAndre, I think the Lakers have a shot against Denver, but I also want to be shocked that they lose because I'm not fully buying into them beating the Warriors, Kings, and escaping New Orleans. And Kyle Cruz, everything I just listed as far as Denver giving them issues, let alone they have to worry about Jokic. They have to worry about Jamal Murray. But then you got to think about the other rotational guys that they have. Aaron Gordon always elevates his game. Peyton Watson has been elevating his game. They had a veteran shooter in Cam Johnson. Like the Denver Nuggets have pieces and they have a bench that they can trust plugging in and playing. I know they haven't been playing good basketball to start the second half of the season, and Lakers have been getting good wins, but this is going to be a good eye tester tomorrow to see where this Lakers team is at. And if they lose to the Denver Nuggets, then once again we're going to be revisiting this conversation and saying the Lakers truly can't match up with anybody in the Western Conference. Now, to kind of slow down a little bit to get into the second half of this episode, there's been some more comments in regards to the duo of Luka and Austin Reeves, and also LeBron James. There's been some comments made about him as far as where will he land coming into the offseason. I know you guys are going to be able to react to that. But before we do any of that, I have to let my partners at Pachanga give you guys a quick word.
At Pachanga Resort Casino, you can rock and roll, sip and slide, twist and shout. Play your perfect combination at Pachanga Resort Casino, official Indian gaming sponsor of the Lakers.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Lakers Talk Daily. Excuse me. The Lakers got a victory last night against the New Orleans Pelicans. They escaped with that win, 110-101, as you guys labeled it in the YouTube chat. And I see you guys. You guys are active in there today. Peter says that AR is going to get exposed by another defender. Trust me. And then Dodgers for life. Jokic has a Lakers number. Every single thing is very, very true. Every single thing is true when it comes to this Lakers team. Teams are going to be able to exploit their mismatches. Teams are going to be able to pick apart Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. You can try to implement every single zone you want. But when you run into a team that can knock down the three ball, Lakers run into trouble. That forces them to play man-to-man defense, which is not in their favor. I know you guys were saying, tomorrow, OG says Vando should stick to Jamal Murray all game. Yes, you put Jared Vanderbilt, allow him to stick on Jamal Murray, but once again, this is where the counterpoint is. Vanderbilt hasn't been on the floor these past couple of games. It's because of the spacing of the offense. Remember, we talk about how it gets stagnant and it's ball watching. Vanderbilt, there's no need for him to be a corner specialist. He has not been consistent in that range. So teams, are allowed to help off of him and to get extra help in the paint, which is clogging up the driving lanes. Luka Doncic can't get in his driving lanes. Austin Reeves can't get into his driving lanes. This is what is going to happen. I see Brian, one more I'm going to read off before I get into the news as far as LeBron James. Lakers fans last year, we want the Wolves, Lakers in 5. I do remember that. Hell, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was the one that was over there saying Lakers in 5. And then what happens? Because the Lakers had good success against the Minnesota Timberwolves during the regular season, 4-1 series, Minnesota Timberwolves. And they made the Lakers struggle throughout that entire series. Anthony Edwards was able to get mismatched. Rudy Gobert, because Lakers had no true dominant big man, Rudy Gobert was able to pick apart. He won them a game last in one of the playoff series. So it's going to be tough to really see what this Lakers team can do. I am excited tomorrow. I really am excited to see where the Lakers and how are they going to match up against the Denver Nuggets. You could say that they look good against the Kings, the Warriors. They escaped the win against, the New Orleans Pelicans. But when they play against an actual team above 500, I'm not going to count the Warriors as above 500 team because they were without Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler. When the Lakers play a team that is above 500, they are 12-16. That is some truth to that stat line. That is some truth to that number. So to kind of take a little breather, I saw a report today as far as what the Lakers are believed that they're going to be doing heading into the offseason. And I know you guys it's another conversation in regards to should Lakers pay Austin Reeves and give him that $40 million if he's worth that much. Lakers, this is a report, and this is Chris Mannix saying Lakers believe they can succeed with the backcourt of Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves and are looking to build a Dallas 2.0 type of roster, which they should, similar to what Luka had when he went to the finals. Now, me looking at the available free agents, a lot of these guys, like Peyton Watson, is a restricted free agent, I believe. I believe Tari Eason is one of those guys as far as a 3-and-D type of player. And no question, Lakers have 3 first-round picks that they're going to be able to offload from if they do decide to do that. So now the biggest question is, who are those guys the Lakers get? The Lakers were attached to Herb Jones' name. Did not work. The Pelicans said that they're going to keep him, and that is an ideal guy you want to have as far as a 3-and-D wing. I know he didn't look necessarily okay. He looked okay last night against the Lakers, but his defense is one of those that we need to keep an eye on because he's able to get into passing lanes. He's able to deflect passes. That is something that the Lakers do need when it comes to building the right roster around them too. Now, as far as a big man and someone that they're going to need to actually rely on as a rim protector, DeAndre Ayton is not it. We're being honest. He is not that guy. And Mike Trudell came on the Marco and Travis afternoon show yesterday, and he has some things to say as far as DeAndre Ayton, that this is what the Lakers paid him for. You're getting an $8 million DeAndre Ayton type player. And my pushback on that is, yes, Lakers got him for a good value, but he's not holding up enough to be the proper guy that they need. I understand that this is the value. This is who DeAndre Ayton is. But the frustrating part is the talent level is there. He just does not do it at a consistent rate. And then to try to rely on him to be your starting big man when he can't close out games, certain games, when Jackson Hayes has to be your closer, that is frustrating because the Lakers need a starting big man role. So if they believe that the backcourt of Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves is something that they can succeed on, I once again have to be on this stance. You best believe you have to hit on 3-and-D guys who can actually shoot the rock, and an actual rim protector. If you do not succeed in this offseason in getting those right pieces, and you do bring back Austin Reeves, and you pair him up with Luka Doncic once again, because at this point, after everything we've been seeing in regards to reports around LeBron James, is that it's going to be time to actually rebuild and move on from him. And I'm going to touch on to that. But it is, you have to hit because it's going to be another season just like this. Bad defense, trying to outscore opponents when they don't have the necessary pieces. It's going to be another season like this if they do not hit. And once again, those ideal guys, I'm going to keep on naming them. Herb Jones, which they try to get. Tari Eason, who I believe is good. Peyton Watson, another guy. Once again, those two, as far as Peyton Watson and Tari Eason, are free agents. I believe Watson is a restricted free agent. Those are models. Again, they're not saying Lakers are going out and get these guys, but those are the ideal type of players you want to put around Luka and AR. You do want another guy as a certified rim protector. And there's not that much big man to really get out there on the market. And that's why it's going to be real crucial to see what they do with those picks. If they are willing to trade them and try to get an established veteran big man. Or they might try to go into the draft because they do own the first round pick this year. See if they want to get somebody in the draft. But I'm telling you right now, if you do not build the right team around them, we're going to be looking at another season just like this. Now, to transition, because this all ties in together, Tim McMahon went on Get Up, and the question that was asked to him is regards to where do you see LeBron James being next year? Do you see him landing with the Lakers? Do you see him going back home, which makes the most sense, in Cleveland, or do you see him retiring? And he said that he believes he sees LeBron James returning back home to Cleveland. Hometown kid, started the season off there, won a championship with them. They are a title contending team when they acquired James Harden. You look at their roster, Mitchell, Harden, Mobley. You got Jared Allen, Max Strus, who has not played this season, but they got a guy like him. And then you also got Sam Merrill, a shooter. You got Dennis Schroeder. Keon Ellis will be a free agent, I believe, heading into this offseason. They got a really deep team. And it makes all the sense because if LeBron James wants to end his career off right, with an actual team that is considered in real contention, Cleveland makes all the right sense. And he also took in that it's time for the Lakers right now to move on with that because it has not worked with the three of them on the basketball court together. So you try to add him once again, you're only limiting your chances of building the right team around Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. And hearing that once again, it makes all the right sense. It does. It does make all the right sense. Him going to Cleveland. Now, he's going to have to take a little bit of a pay cut because Cleveland is a team, I believe, they're in that second apron or they're right around that margin. They're gonna have to see what is it like the numbers and stuff like that. But it does make all the sense. Going home, returning to Cleveland, having a chance to end your career off right, have the retirement tour over there. I know people are saying that why would he need the retirement tour? Because wouldn't that distract what the team needs to do? Because we say that same conversation with the Lakers. If he comes back here and he gets the whole retirement tour, are we just telling ourselves that the Lakers are not really looking to contend for a championship? The focus is all on LeBron James. I am in the belief you can possibly do two things at once. Remember, two things can be true, but we shall see. But I got someone that wants to elaborate on this. My guy, John Martin, who is back there. He's got some words in regards to how he feels about all this. John, do you think that the sense is to build now and build as far as the offseason? You got Luka and Austin Reeves. Try to build that right team around them. LeBron James, it is actually time to make that shift and let him go ahead and I want to say don't try to bring him back, but give him the right model and tell him this is what we are trying to do. If you feel like you can be a part of those plans and understanding your role, good. We will be glad to bring you back. But if not, you have to understand that we are trying to build the right pieces around them too. Am I wrong about that? You're muted, brother. You're muted, brother.
D, I think you hit the nail on the head, brother.
All
Um,
right.
you know, the reality is the LeBron experiment is over. We have
Okay.
Luca, and it's time for him to ride off into the sunset. And honestly, man, I think he owes it to himself. Go back to Cleveland, bro. Obviously they want to compete and they want to win a ring now. That's why they got Harden. You know, Donovan Mitchell is in his prime, so they're definitely pushing to win now. But say next year is his last season and he does it with Cleveland, it will be a win now season mixed with a retirement tour type season, which I think is something that, he deserves. If Kobe got a retirement tour, LeBron definitely should get a retirement tour. He's been in the league for so long. And I think it's well deserved. And I'll even take it a step further with this Luka Doncic experiment. D, I think AR has to go too. In all honesty,
Oh.
yeah, I think Austin Reeves will probably have to go as well. I love AR. I really am a huge fan of him. I love his work ethic. He's gotten better every year offensively since he's been here, and he's such a low key, calm guy. Like I see him post game. He's not running straight to the locker room. He's having a moment, interacting with fans. He's signing things. The city of LA has really embraced him, Austin Reeves, the person. Austin Reeves, the player. We know he can get a bucket. His time with Phil Handy has really made him an elite scoring guard. But defensively, dude, he's just a liability. We know this. And is his offense really going to hold up in the playoffs? I think this playoffs is big for him in his future, not only as a Laker, but just like in the NBA period. Like, yeah, he's cute. He can get a bucket. He's fancy. But playoffs, you already know the NBA slows down. Them little chippy ticky tack, free throws, them little calls he gets, that whistle isn't as loose come playoff time. You know what I mean?
But
So,
what if that model does work? I understand Kyrie Irving. Once again, we have to keep on reminding ourselves he is a phenomenal talent, John.
yeah, no
Kyrie
doubt.
Irving does a lot of beautiful things with the basketball. And
Mm-hmm.
he's been a willing defender. He has been. He's
Yes,
not labeled as a terrible defender.
that's
Austin Reeves
true.
is one of those guys that has been labeled as he's a bad defender.
He's a
And
cone. He's a
he
cone. I'm
is.
I'm getting a bucket on AR. I'm not even lying to you.
Whoa. You getting a bucket on AR, John?
Absolutely.
Like that?
Absolutely. You've seen the tapes, bro. Check the resume. Anyway, it's not about me. But the point is, he is a liability. You get what
Yeah,
I'm
no?
saying? So it's like, yeah, Kyrie, like look at Curry, right? Look at Kyrie and Curry, kind of
Yeah.
similar, super crafty, skilled offensive guards. who aren't the best defensively, but make an effort. I believe Curry led the league in steals one year. You feel me? So it's like, are we going to see that from AR? When are we going to see that from AR?
It's okay. And I'm not defending them because I'm totally with you. And I always keep on going back to what the perfect thing that we all go back to as far as bringing up Austin Reeves' defense has to be that Minnesota Timberwolves series. It has to be because what were they doing? Switch one-on-one. Let's clear out. Let's let Jaden
Barbecue
McDaniels go to
chicken, bro.
work. Let's let Nikhil
Mm.
Alexander go to
That's what
work.
I'm saying. Let's
Let's
go at him.
let's let Anthony Edwards go to work. And then that does not help, which is why they were able to hide Luka Doncic and him. I mean, they were able to hide Luka Doncic a lot in Dallas is because who? They had Lively. They had Gafford. They were able to hide those guys. You can't hide Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic with this Lakers team.
You
So
cannot
that's
with
why
this
the
roster.
defense, that is why they get exploited a lot. So if they want to try to bring that Dallas Mavericks model and implement that into this Lakers team, once again, if you do not have those types of guys to protect, if you get blown by, it's only going to get worse. And I'm with you. The only reason why I think Austin Reeves is still a good fit with Luka Doncic is because offensively he does a lot of things well. He does get to the free throw line. He does want to create his own bucket.
Let's keep in mind, obviously on court is super important about literally, their playing styles, but they like each other. They seem to be boys. They're always goofing around. They're always, cracking jokes at each other. Every time I open Twitter, I see some new Luka's roasting Austin. Austin's crashing an interview. So it's like, Austin, honestly, I think there's like a sentimental feel for him in the city of Los Angeles because in a way he's our closest thing to like, a flower that we've, watered and he's developed, he's grown. We didn't get that with Max Christie. We don't really get that as Laker fans. We usually get guys that are ready to go immediately. So Austin Reeves, we kind of have that sentimental love for him, but this is the part of being a GM. You got to make tough decisions. So I don't envy being Rob Pelinka. He's got a tough call to make.
And I would like to end it on this. And if they were to move on from him, I wouldn't be opposed to that decision. It would be one of those, you know what? I understand.
Yeah.
I understand why they moved on from Austin Reeves. Then it's not because they don't essentially think that he can be a good pair along Luka Doncic. It's probably because the value that he's probably going to be worth in the offseason, the Lakers can't seem to come to an agreement into that because of his defense and his inability to defend at a high level. And once again, teams in the Western Conference are only going to get better.
I think the NBA and the whole basketball world is really going to be watching Austin Reeves this playoff run. He has a lot of even if it's a first round exit, that's one thing, but if he is a liability defensively and his offense, slows down, we've seen it twice now. Once is like, okay. 2 times is like, I'm
glad because I'm able to pick your brain off of this a little bit because you saying that, like, and I know we're giving you guys a little bonus time on Lakers Talk Daily, and I just watching the game last night against the New Orleans Pelicans, and they were young.
I was there.
You were there in attendance. They were young.
I was there. I was shooting. Yes, I was shooting for ESPN LA.
They were a young and athletic. They're a younger athletic team. I know it doesn't translate necessarily to wins, but remember, their roster has been all over the place. They just got DeJounte Murray back in place, who was another good defender. But look at Austin Reeves' numbers. 4-15 shooting. He was struggling. Every single thing he was shooting was from what? Was from 3, damn near. 2 of 7 from 3. And 2 of those came later in the game. But he can't get to his spots.
I will say he hit some big threes, though. He did hit some. He hit one to take the lead, and then the other was kind of a gravedigger 3 that just kind of put the game away from the Pelicans. So he did hit some big shots, but he was off in the beginning, yes.
But that just leads me into this, is that when a better defender is on him, he doesn't get to his spots essentially that well. He struggles with getting to his spots. The bumping, the taking him off his lane, his path of driving, and when you're not getting those same calls, that is a struggle. Remember, he had a really bad playoff series. I'm not saying that's going to be the same case going into this one, but he is playing for basically his return for the Lakers. And he is playing for another contract, potentially for a different team. This is a ride. This Lakers team is all over the place. They have to worry about LeBron James and be able to get away from his contract. Then they have to worry about building the right team around Luka Doncic. Then they also have to worry about, okay, do we want to bring Austin Reeves back? We're going to let him test the market, see where his value was at. Are we going to match that? And then, okay, we still need to put the right team around Luka. We need to put another rim protector because John Drayton isn't cutting it. We need to try to get younger, athletic. All these different types of scenarios is why. this offseason. And I know it sucks that we're heading in and thinking about the offseason compared to what they still can do right now, because we got to remind ourselves the Lakers are 37-24 with
Yeah.
all these different things we're talking about. But that's why it's very, very important. So, John, once again, man, good stuff, bro. Appreciate you always hopping
Yes,
on,
indeed,
man.
brother.
And you guys in the YouTube chat, appreciate you guys always tuning in. I got a special guest for you guys tomorrow. I do believe Andy Kamenetsky, AK, will be joining me tomorrow for Lakers Talk Daily to, preview Lakers and Denver Nuggets. He's going to have some stuff to elaborate on as far as the duo of Luka and Austin Reeves. But as for myself and you guys, always appreciate you guys tuning in to the show. I will be talking to you guys tomorrow, and we are out.